Alright guys, so in the last video we changed the oil in a push mower. Today I'm going to show you how to change the oil in a riding lawnmower. A lot of the steps are the same, so we're still draining out the bad oil and we're going to replace it with new oil, but there's an extra step in most riding lawnmowers that I'm going to walk you through as well. That extra step is to change the oil filter. I have a brand new oil filter here and I'm going to show you guys how to take the old one off and put the new one on. So this is my riding lawnmower. I'm going to go ahead and open up the hood of it. Okay, you can see here that that right here I have the place where the oil goes in, along with the dipstick that tells me the level of oil that's in the engine. Here's the oil filter that I'm going to change out and put the new one on. And then right here is where I drain the oil from the engine. Now the oil filter is important for an engine of this size because it's going to get, usually a riding lawnmower is going to get a lot more working hours. And so it cleans the oil as it runs, but it still needs to be changed out at least once a year, if not more often, depending on the use. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the oil out. And I'm going to do a little bit different process with this one. What I've got here is just a piece of plastic tubing that happens to fit right on the end of this little nozzle right here. So I'm going to pop this little cap off. I'm going to put this hose on the edge of this nozzle. I'm going to run the other end of my hose into my waste oil container, just like this. Okay? And if I do this right, the oil should travel downwards whenever I pull out on this little valve. So let's see. All right, so I've got my oil draining into my container here. While that's draining, I'm going to go ahead and undo the oil filter. I have a tool here. It's called a strap wrench, or some would call it a filter wrench. And all it is a plastic handle with a rubber strap. And that's going to help me to grab that filter and turn it loose. So I'm going to take my strap, put it on the filter just like this. And I'm going to pull that strap nice and tight. And then using pressure, I'm just going to turn that filter counterclockwise. Now there's going to be some oil. It's going to be a bit of a mess here. So I'm just going to catch some of it on this cardboard box. I'll get rid of it later. But I'm just going to pull that off by twisting it. Just like this. Okay, and you can see there's old oil inside there. I'm going to dump that oil out here in a minute into my container. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and put the new filter on. Before I put a new filter on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my new oil. Once again, I'm using 10W30 just like I did on the push mower. I'm going to fill the filter up with oil. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do before I put it on is I'm going to get a little bit of that oil on my finger and rub it around the rubber gasket on the outside of the rim. This is going to help create a better seal, and it's also going to make it easier for me to remove the filter next time I have to change the oil. So I'm going to screw that back on by turning it in a clockwise direction, just like this. And I don't want to over tighten it, so I'm not even going to use a wrench. I'm just going to get it as tight as I can with my hand, because if I tighten it with the wrench, I could damage the filter, I could damage the threads on it, and I can make it really difficult for me to take it off the next time I have to change my oil. Now as I look here, it looks like my oil is finished draining. So I'm going to close up this little valve, like that, pull my hose off. And cap it off like that. Okay, I'm going to take my funnel and the oil that's in the filter. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it goes into my container here by just pouring it out like this. You can see that's some really dark used oil. Okay, and then just like with the riding lawnmower or the push mower, I'm going to put the new oil into the engine, just like this. And I won't make you do all this or make you watch all this. is I'm just going to keep putting oil in it until it's full. I'll check with my dipstick to make sure that I have enough oil in there, and then I'll be done. So that's how you change the oil and the oil filter on a riding lawnmower.